The phone lit up at 3:12 a.m. I already knew it was bad. But I didn't know my brother would be worse, and that his betrayal would start tonight. My name is Karen Harris. I'm 46 years old. I work as a bookkeeper at a small medical clinic in Columbus. My father Robert is 78, a retired postal worker. My brother Eric is 42, a so-called businessman who shows up only when there's money involved. That night, our family lines were redrawn forever. Mrs. Harris? This is Linda, the hospice nurse. Your father is asking for you. You should come now. Her voice was calm. Too calm. My father Robert had been fading for weeks. That night I learned what my brother Eric was capable of. Hours later, my father Robert would be gone. And my brother Eric already had papers in his hands. I didn't put on makeup. Didn't brush my hair. The half-brewed coffee sat forgotten on the stove. My robe slipped off the chair. I shoved bare feet into sneakers, grabbed my keys. I didn't even lock the door. I was too scared of wasting seconds. The drive through Columbus was silent. Headlights. Empty streets. Cracked asphalt shining from last night's rain. My hands shook on the wheel. Why do men always come when it's too late? My father Robert loved falling asleep with a book on his chest. His wallet always sat on the dresser, worn brown leather stuffed with receipts. A framed photo of him holding us as kids leaned on the nightstand by his bed. When I pulled into the driveway, I saw my brother Eric's silver Mercedes. The smell of his cheap cologne seemed to hang in the air. Eric hadn't been by in weeks. Always a deal. Always an excuse. Now at 3 a.m. he was here. I stepped inside. The hallway air was heavy. A mix of medicine, dust, and something chemical. The hospital bed in the living room was empty. The sheets were stripped. A floorboard creaked under me. From the study came voices. Low. Fast. I pushed the door open. My father Robert sat slumped in his leather chair. Skin pale. Damp. His eyes barely open. Next to him stood my brother Eric. Dark suit. Tie loose. A woman with a clipboard by his side. A notary stamp glinted under the lamp. Eric didn't flinch. He looked straight at me. You're on time, he said flat like he expected me. My stomach dropped. The phone stayed silent. Not my mother. Not my cousins. Just me and Eric with his papers. My father Robert's lips moved, but no words came. His hand shook as my brother Eric pushed a pen toward him. He wants to fix the will, Eric said quickly. He asked for it. Wants to be fair. His tone wasn't nervous. It was smooth. Practiced. Scared me more than his lies. I stepped closer. My throat was dry. Now? At 3 a.m? My father Robert's fingers brushed the page. His pupils were pinpoints. His breathing shallow. In less than a week, I'd be sitting in a lawyer's office replaying this moment. Then I saw the pill bottle stuffed in my brother Eric's jacket pocket. Cap missing. Label turned inward. What did you give him? I asked. Eric's smile was thin. Practiced. Nothing. His meds. That's a lie. My voice cracked. The notary froze. The notary's hand shook. Mine didn't. Maybe we should, she started. I didn't let her finish. Linda, get in here. Linda rushed in. Shoes squeaking. She checked my father Robert's pupils, then the tablet in her hand. Her face stiffened. He was given morphine at 2:05. No reason for another dose. She turned to my brother Eric. Did you administer anything? He lifted his hands. Of course not. He asked for me. He wanted to fix things. She didn't argue. She called the on-call doctor on speaker. Patient with unexpected CNS depression. Suspected overdose. Requesting immediate review. My father Robert's head slumped forward. His chest rasped. I dropped to my knees. His hand was cold. Almost limp. He tried to squeeze back. Just faint pressure. I'm here, I whispered. Don't leave yet. I didn't know then that this bottle would show up again. In the worst possible place. When I looked up, my brother Eric was gone. The front door creaked. I ran outside. He was already walking to his Mercedes. The notary clutched her clipboard like it was burning her. What's in your hand? I shouted. My brother Eric didn't stop. He opened the car door. You'll get your answers soon, he said over his shoulder. Then the car peeled away. Linda adjusted my father Robert's oxygen. Pressure's dropping, she said firmly. Stay with him. Talk to him. I pulled the chair close. My hand shook against his arm. The lamp glowed warm on the desk. Under it, a brass key lay cold. My father Robert never left it out. He carried it in his pocket every day. Always. The key wasn't for me anymore. It was for my brother Eric. And that was the night I stopped being his sister and started being his enemy. The morning after felt heavier than night. 72 hours until the lawyer's office. My father Robert was still breathing but shallow, each inhale like it had to be borrowed. The machines hummed low. Linda left at 7. I sat by the bed staring at the brass key on the desk. He always carried it in his pocket. Always. Now it lay cold, untouched. I didn't move it. Couldn't. The coffee pot hissed. Bitter steam. The cup slipped in my hand. A brown stain spread across the counter. I didn't wipe it. I just watched it dry. My brother Eric hadn't come back. Not a call. Not a text. Nothing. I thought maybe he'd panic. Maybe he'd show up and pretend. He didn't. Instead, by noon, the notary called the house phone. Voice shaky. Mrs. Harris? I was told not to say anything. She stopped. But I felt pressured. He said your father asked for it. I wasn't sure. Then silence. She hung up before I could answer. I didn't know then that her silence would cost me more than Eric's lies. My father Robert stirred. Eyes half open. He tried to speak, lips dry, but no sound came. I held his hand. It's okay. I'm here. He squeezed once, faint, then drifted back. I looked at the key again. Cold brass catching daylight. Why was it left out? He never left it out. 70 hours. I changed his bedding. Slow, careful. My mother Sarah hadn't called. No cousins, no aunts. Just me. Silence louder than any words. No one came. Not even a call. Afternoon, I stepped outside for air. The street was quiet. A mail truck passed. Normal life continued. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Eric's voice. Calm, too calm. How's Dad? Barely here, I said. Where are you? He paused. Meet me at Mom's. 2 o'clock. Why? We need to talk before the lawyer. Don't be late. The line went dead. 66 hours. I drove to my mother Sarah's house. Small 2-story white siding. Curtains drawn. My brother Eric's Mercedes sat in the driveway. He was leaning on the hood, sunglasses, arms crossed. He looked relaxed. Too relaxed. I stepped out. What do you want? He smiled. You made last night harder than it had to be. I froze. You drugged him. He shrugged. He wanted peace. I helped. With a signature ready? Dad didn't want unfair splits. His tone sharp now. You don't need it. I do. My chest tightened. You don't get to decide that. His smile widened. The lawyer will. He pulled something from his jacket. A folded paper. Drafts already done. Just need the record to stand. He stepped closer. I smelled his cologne. Strong. Bitter. You can fight me, Karen. But in 2 days it won't matter. My stomach turned. What's in your pocket? He didn't answer. Just tapped the paper against his palm. Be ready. He walked past me, got in the Mercedes and drove off without another word. I stood on the sidewalk, heart pounding. The house key burned in my thoughts. My father Robert's silence. My mother Sarah's absence. My brother Eric's lies. 48 hours. And I realized Eric wasn't just rewriting the will. He was rewriting the truth. Morning light cut through the blinds. By the time we sat in the lawyer's office, my brother Eric planned to erase me completely. The brass key was still on the desk. I hadn't touched it. Couldn't. Felt like evidence. My father Robert lay quiet. Breath thin, lips cracked. His hand twitched when I held it, then settled. I thought about calling my mother Sarah. I didn't. She hadn't called once. No cousins, no aunts. Silence said everything. The coffee machine sputtered. I poured a cup and watched steam fade. Tasted like metal. 10 a knock. A woman in a navy jacket stood on the porch, papers under her arm. Mrs. Harris? I'm Anna Grant. I work with the firm your father used for his estate. I let her in. She saw my father first, then set a folder on the table. Your brother sent an unsigned draft, she said. He claimed your father requested changes. At 3 in the morning? I asked. She nodded. Unusual. Not valid without capacity. Did you sign anything? No, I said. Good. Don't. We'll review tomorrow. If anyone tries again, call me. She slid me her card and left. The house went back to its hum. I opened the folder. Eric's handwriting everywhere. My name scratched out. Property lines shifted. To my dear son Eric Harris, full ownership. The brass key flashed under the lamp. It didn't look like a key anymore. It looked like a verdict. My phone buzzed. A text. Check the mailbox. A padded envelope waited. Inside, a photo. My father in his chair, pen in hand, Eric holding his wrist. On the back, you can fight me. You'll lose. Coffee spilled across the counter. I let it spread. My father stirred. His lips formed one word, safe. Then his eyes closed again. I whispered, I'll find it. I checked the desk drawers, the closet, the tin box. Nothing. The notary came later, pale, nervous. He rushed me. I never finished the stamp. I'll testify. Before leaving, she added, he always said his papers were in a metal place. Closer than you'd think. After she left, I saw the baseboard behind the desk. New screws. Hollow sound. I didn't pry it. I called Anna. There's a compartment. The notary will testify. Good, she said. Don't touch it. I'll come in the morning. If he shows, call me. Near evening, Eric texted again. Don't make this ugly. A pin for a diner. I went. He was already there, relaxed, rehearsed. You look tired, he said. You sent a picture. You held Dad's wrist. He needed help. Bring the bottle. You really want to go down that road? He leaned close. Roads go two ways. You've been in that house alone. Is that a threat? It's a fact. He slid a folded paper across the table. Here's how this ends. You step aside. I finish what Dad started. Dad didn't start that, I said. He smirked. In the morning the firm will file. Cry later. I walked out. In the car, the brass key pressed against my thigh. My father had whispered one word. Safe. I pictured the baseboard, the notary's shaky hands, Anna's card, the photo with the coffee ring. I whispered to the empty car. I'm not stepping aside. The brass key. The photo. The folder. And now a word. Safe. By the next sunrise, I knew Eric wasn't just after the will. He was hunting my father's last secret. And if I didn't find it first, I'd lose everything. The house felt dim though the sun was high. 2 keys. Brass warm in my pocket, steel dull on the table. My father Robert's breaths were thin, almost gaps. I checked the locks, then sat at the desk. Drawers stopped clean, but the bottom gave a tremor. I pulled it, felt under the lip, hit a notch. The steel key caught. Half turn. Click, I felt in bone. The drawer lifted like a lid. Inside, a flat tin scuffed. Cash, receipts, 3 dates on a slip, 6 months ago, last month, 2 weeks back. Next to them, Huntington. Locker. A card heavier than paper. Huntington National Bank. Safe deposit agreement. My father's signature. A second small brass key taped to the back. Stamped with a locker number. I photographed everything, then called Anna. Hidden drawer. Deposit agreement. USB cash receipts. Bank key. Good, she said. Seal it. Bring both keys. Tomorrow we go together. Eric dropped another key last night. Steal. Wrong cut. He wanted you misled, she said. The record is on our side. I sealed the items, placed the bank key in a sleeve, wrote the locker number twice. My father stirred, lips moving around the same word, safe. I leaned close. I found it. I'll go with the lawyer. By noon, a voicemail landed. This is Huntington Bank. Confirming tomorrow 9 a.m. safe deposit access for Eric Harris and authorized family. My chest went cold. I called back. No access without me and my lawyer. Put a hold. They did. Anna texted. I'm on it. We'll be there at 8:45. I reread the receipts. hardware store screws, pharmacy lines matching Linda's chart, a locksmith charge, desk cam lock install. His handwriting tight and careful. Cuts aren't random. Cuts are chosen. The bell rang. A woman with clipboard. Wellness check. Concern about controlled medication. The bottle flashed in my mind. I stalled until Linda arrived. She checked meds, oxygen charts. Everything's secured, she told the woman who left fast. On the curb, a silver car idled, tinted windows. Not Eric's Mercedes. Pulled away when I looked. By evening, my phone buzzed. My mother, Sarah. Eric says you're making this ugly. Let him handle it. Letters blurred. I typed nothing. Another text, unknown number. A photo of the Huntington vault. Caption, don't be late. I checked my bag. Agreement copy, ID, lawyer's card, photo sleeve, brass house key, bank key. The steel key I left in a dish by the lamp. 3 medals. 3 cuts. 3 locks. Near dusk, my father exhaled long, then caught air after 3 silent seconds. I counted with him until my breath matched. I whispered, tomorrow we open it. My phone buzzed once more. Keys work in pairs. I stared at the steel key in the dish. Coffee had left a ring on the photocopy of the bank agreement. I wiped it clean, read the locker number again, steadying my hands. 2 keys. 1 truth. Then the doorbell rang, soft as a touch, and the porch light clicked off by itself. The house felt dim though the sun was high. 2 keys. Brass warm in my pocket, steel dull on the table. My father Robert's breaths were thin, almost gaps. I checked the locks, then sat at the desk. Drawers stopped clean, but the bottom gave a tremor. I pulled it, felt under the lip, hit a notch. The steel key caught. Half turn. Click, I felt in bone. The drawer lifted like a lid. Inside, a flat tin scuffed. Cash, receipts, 3 dates on a slip, 6 months ago, last month, 2 weeks back. Next to them, Huntington. Locker. A card heavier than paper. Huntington National Bank. Safe deposit agreement. My father's signature. A second small brass key taped to the back. Stamped with a locker number. I photographed everything, then called Anna. Hidden drawer. Deposit agreement. USB cash receipts. Bank key. Good, she said. Seal it. Bring both keys. Tomorrow we go together. Eric dropped another key last night. Steal. Wrong cut. He wanted you misled, she said. The record is on our side. I sealed the items, placed the bank key in a sleeve, wrote the locker number twice. My father stirred, lips moving around the same word, safe. I leaned close. I found it. I'll go with the lawyer. By noon, a voicemail landed. This is Huntington Bank. Confirming tomorrow 9 a.m. safe deposit access for Eric Harris and authorized family. My chest went cold. I called back. No access without me and my lawyer. Put a hold. They did. Anna texted. I'm on it. We'll be there at 8:45. I reread the receipts. Hardware store screws, pharmacy lines matching Linda's chart, a locksmith charge, desk cam lock install. His handwriting tight and careful. Cuts aren't random. Cuts are chosen. The bell rang. A woman with clipboard. Wellness check. Concern about controlled medication. The bottle flashed in my mind. I stalled until Linda arrived. She checked meds, oxygen charts. Everything's secured, she told the woman who left fast. On the curb, a silver car idled, tinted windows. Not Eric's Mercedes. Pulled away when I looked. By evening, my phone buzzed. My mother, Sarah. Eric says you're making this ugly. Let him handle it. Letters blurred. I typed nothing. Another text, unknown number. A photo of the Huntington vault. Caption, don't be late. I checked my bag. Agreement copy, ID, lawyer's card, photo sleeve, brass house key, bank key. The steel key I left in a dish by the lamp. 3 medals. 3 cuts. 3 locks. Near dusk, my father exhaled long, then caught air after 3 silent seconds. I counted with him until my breath matched. I whispered, tomorrow we open it. My phone buzzed once more. Keys work in pairs. I stared at the steel key in the dish. Coffee had left a ring on the photocopy of the bank agreement. I wiped it clean, read the locker number again, steadying my hands. 2 keys. 1 truth. Then the doorbell rang, soft as a touch, and the porch light clicked off by itself. The morning came too fast. I had slept in the chair, shoes on, one hand over my father Robert's wrist. His pulse was faint, ready to slip. The brass key pressed in my pocket. The steel one sat in the dish. The bank envelope rested in my bag. 3 medals. 3 locks. 3 silences. At 7 I brewed coffee. The smell cut sharp. My phone buzzed. Anna. I'll be there in 20. Don't open unless it's me. At 7:20 Anna and David stood at the door. I let them in quick. He called the bank, I said. They confirmed an appointment. Then we'll be early, she said. She checked my bag. Agreement key, photo sleeve. If there's a grab, hand it to me. Never to him. By 8:30 we parked at Huntington. Eric's Mercedes was already there. He leaned on it like a man waiting for applause. Inside, the clerk checked IDs. Eric smiled too wide. We'll be together. Not without counsel, Anna cut in. The clerk nodded. We followed him to the vault. Keys, the clerk said. Eric dropped his brass copy. Anna placed ours. They match, the clerk said. Eric leaned closer to me. Closer than you'd think. The narrow box slid onto the table. 5 minutes, the clerk said and stepped out. I unlocked it. The lid creaked. Inside. Envelopes, papers, a notebook bound with rubber bands, and a velvet pouch. Eric reached. Anna blocked him. David photographed each item. Then the pouch. He tilted it. A black USB slid out, taped with the same blue painter's tape as the one from the desk. Eric's smile faltered. Then he said flat. Dad trusted me. Not you. His eyes stayed on the drive. Anna sealed it. We'll analyze this at the firm. The rest stays logged. Executor changes. Tomorrow. Eric snapped, then left. The clerk returned, closed the locker, logged the time. 2 USBs now. One from the desk. One from the vault. 2 keys had led here. One truth waited inside. On the freeway, Eric's car slid past us, close, too close. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother, Sarah. Don't drag this out. Your father wouldn't want fighting. Back at the house, the lamp hummed. My father's breaths were slower. I sat by him with the envelope. 2 drives. 2 keys. 2 paths. I whispered to the quiet. Tomorrow everything comes out. Then the porch light clicked off by itself. And in the dish, the steel key tipped as if touched by an unseen hand. The funeral came 3 days later. The church smelled of wax and old wood. My father Robert's photo stood by the casket, the same one from the living room wall. My mother Sarah sat front row, hands folded, face hard. She hadn't called until now. Eric stood near the aisle, suit pressed, smile practiced, greeting everyone like it was his event. I sat 2 rows back with Anna on one side and David on the other. The brass key pressed in my pocket. The steel key stayed at home, in the dish where he had slid it under the door. After the service, we walked to the lawyer's office. The reading. Eric leaned forward, elbows on his knees, ready. The lawyer unfolded the papers. To my daughter, Karen Harris, I leave equal share of the house, savings, and deposit box. To my son, Eric Harris, equal share. Eric's smile froze. Then the lawyer placed 2 plastic sleeves on the desk. And this, my client left specific instruction. 2 USB drives sealed. Anna nodded to David. He plugged the first into a secure laptop. Screens lit. Files opened, receipts, pharmacy logs, locksmith fees, photos. Eric's hand on Robert's wrist. A note in Robert's handwriting. If this is questioned, Karen is witness. Not Eric. Eric shifted, jaw tight. Forgery, he snapped. Too quick. Too sharp. The lawyer ignored him. The second drive went in. Bank slips. Scans. An audio file. My father's voice, thin but steady. This is Robert Harris. I am of sound mind. My daughter Karen knows where my records are. My son Eric has pressured me. This is my statement. Silence filled the room. The lawyer closed the folder. This record is dated, signed, notarized. It stands. Eric's face drained. He stood. This isn't. Anna cut him. It is. He grabbed the table edge, then let go. His hand shook. He looked at me once. Not brother to sister. Enemy to enemy. Then he left, The door slam echoing down the hall. I sat back. My hands didn't shake. The brass key warmed in my pocket. The steel one waited at home, dull and useless. Cuts aren't random. Cuts are chosen. My father had chosen. Weeks later I packed the house. My mother Sarah never helped. My cousins never came. Silence stayed their answer. But silence can't erase proof. Paper holds. Voices hold. Keys hold. On the last night I stood in the hallway with the lamp off. The dish still held the steel key. I picked it up one last time, felt the weight, then dropped it in the trash. It clinked against glass and was gone. The brass key stayed on my ring. The house was mine now. Presence isn't love. Presence is proof. If you've listened this far, tell me, have you faced silence from your own family? Write it in the comments, it will help the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more stories about real people who don't scream. They act coldly to the end.